Yeah, I don't know, but I can. I can put some up. But welcome everybody. Thank you for joining. We are here, and I have Dan Dotson in the house. Hello, Dan. Thank you so very much.
Thanks. Thanks for having me today.
Yes, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. So we are live streaming right now. We're live streaming to 5 different locations, and we just have a lot of fun involved here. But we're going to have a learning opportunity as well. And Dan is going to give us some great insider tips. We've got some giveaways. If you see my post, we've got some fantastic giveaways. And so, without further ado, I want to try and work towards that. Now, the first thing that we're going to do here, Dan, is I'd like you to have a couple of sheets of paper. I'd like you to write down 2 numbers. The first number I want you to write down is this. A number, just pick a number between 1 and 20. So he's going to write down a number between 1 and 20. And what we want you to do is this. We want you to share. Don't show anybody. Yeah, share. He's got the number. All right. So we're going to reveal that towards the end of the show. We want you to share this video out. And whatever number he's got between 1 and 20, that number is going to win this. Now, this is awesome. I love it. I am proud owner of this wall poster right here. Oh, let's get that right there. And he signed it right for me. And you're going to get one from Dan and Laura personally signed. Okay. So you're going to get a wall calendar signed by Dan Dotson.
Highly collectible.
Highly collectible.
I know.
Exactly. I mean, you could auction that off for a whole lot of money, especially if Dan's going to do it for you. I tell you. So that's really awesome. And then now I want you to go ahead. I want you to write down a number between 1 and 100, Dan. Just pick one number between 1 and 100.
Okay.
We've got some viewers too.
This is my second piece of paper, and so I'm gonna lay it down right here.
Excellent. Okay, so we got 2 numbers. That second number, what we're gonna do is this. This is my book. I am going to give this book away. So whatever number corresponds with that, and we're going to give this book to the person that chooses that number. The first person to pick that number, okay, or the closest to it. And so that's the second gift that we're going to give away. So we'll reveal those numbers later in the broadcast. So Rachel's here with us, and I certainly appreciate it. She's from Virginia Beach, and as a matter of fact, I'm going to shout her out right now. Rachel does help us with the LWN Foundation, and she is one of our admins for Life Begins When You Start Living, as well as helps me from the administrative standpoint and an executive level with the LWN Foundation, and she's been such a great help. Thank you so very much, Rachel. I certainly appreciate you. Rachel's already shared it, so that's what we want you to do is share, right? And we have Pina Masi as well. She's here as well. And the other thing that I'm going to get you to do to viewers, I want you to do this, okay? We're going to pick a couple questions. If you have a question for Dan, I want you to write that down in the comments. And we're going to pick a couple questions, and you can ask Dan something, and so we will ask Dan your question.
And you can ask me anything. If you have something you want to know, then just ask right now. You've got about 5 minutes to ask me whatever you want to know, and I'll try to be as honest and truthful as I can.
That's excellent. Thank you so very much. Evan Tinsman, love this guy too. He's got such a great story, as a matter of fact. Just love his story. And his story is very similar to mine too, by the way. We're talking about making some poor choices. I know that this is about you, but I made some poor choices, and it did cost me everything. And the difference is that there was a day I didn't really like my life, but I can say today that I love every day, and that I've changed my ways, and through my routines and healthy living lifestyles and thinking, my life has gotten better, and so has Evan's, and we both help other people, and that's what this show is about. The get to know is to have people like, I'm just humbled that you are with us, Dan, and people that are making a positive impact in their communities. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us about yourself.
Well, I try to make a good positive impact wherever I go, but I think, it's always a struggle. It's always, it's always easy to look at the dark side of something. It's
Oh
always
yeah.
easy to figure, where you're going to stumble and who's going to screw you next. And it's always, you got to spend time thinking about those things, but you always have to trump those feelings, I think. And you always have to let yourself believe that things are going to be better, and you have to see them better. And I just
Hmm.
I try to do that. I've been in the same business for a long time, like 40
Yeah,
years. And
exactly.
my grandfather and my mom were auctioneers. So, I learned how to do this in 74 when I was 11 years old. And I knew I didn't want to do anything else in life. I just wanted to be an auctioneer. And here I am. And I've
Wow.
made, I've made a lot of mistakes also. I, we
We all can
raised.
make mistakes. It's about learning from those
Oh,
mistakes.
sure, for
You
sure,
know,
for
I
sure.
mean, I know for a long time, I tried to do the same thing, expecting a different result, and had to realize that doesn't work out so well.
Unless you have schizophrenia,
Well,
then
true,
it
exactly.
it all makes sense when it's completely wrong each time. I don't know. That was probably a bad joke, but
That's okay. You
right.
know, fair enough. Yes, but it does all come down to thinking. But I want to know what motivated you. Why are you so passionate about doing the auctioneering? I want to know
It's a great
what's the
question.
motivating force for you.
You know, my grandfather told me that when he was teaching me how to do this, he said, Danny, if you will have a good time while you're auctioning, and you'll be the one of the best auctioneers out there. And when I was 16 years old, I used to jump on this KZ 400 motorcycle, and I had
Mhm,
long red hair that would wave in the wind. And I would go down to the Chino auction, and I worked there for months. And if I whipped pigs around for 3 or 4 hours, they would let me sell goats for a couple hours. And there was an old auctioneer named Bob Bentley that ran things there at Chino
mhm,
auction in the 70s, and he came up to me one day and he says, Danny, he goes, you got to stop with the jokes. You got to just stop saying anything except for numbers. Just stick with the numbers. And
mhm,
I knew right then I had to go, because it was turning where it really wasn't fun anymore. So I guess to answer your question, is
mhm,
I've always taken, personally, I don't always take the path of least resistance. I
mhm,
climbed a lot of mountains, and I've been very tenacious about a lot of things, and I'm super stubborn about stuff. But if it's easy, then I kind of go that way if it feels good. And back in junior high school, my brother played the trumpet, and he went through the beginning band of trumpet, and he went through the intermediate band, and then he went to advanced band, and he spent about
mhm,
2 or 3 years playing this trumpet. Well, I get to junior high school, and I start playing the trumpet, and I don't know how to read music, but I have a good ear. And I went through the beginning band, intermediate band, and I went through like 9 or 10 trumpet players, and I'm the third trumpet player in the advanced band, and I did it all in one semester. Then I
Awesome.
thought it was too cool for school, and I didn't want to play in the school band anymore. I just I play guitar. I play guitar, but
That's
I
awesome.
I didn't play trumpet anymore. But it was easy for me to pick it up and to learn that. So I just played the trumpet. I don't
Well,
even like the trumpet.
obviously, music plays a big role in your life then. Uh,
It
yeah,
has, yeah,
yeah, yeah,
it does.
yeah. Just for the heck of it, since we're talking about what kind of music do you like to play? Is it big band because you're playing some brass or
I'm
no?
a rocker, man. I'm a rocker from way back, and
Yeah,
I like AC/DC, and I like Leonard
yeah.
Skinner, I like Foo Fighters, and I like Nickelback. I just like
Oh yeah.
I'm a little rocker, so
There.
I mean
Yeah,
most
me
of the
too.
stuff I play, I like Stevie Ray Vaughan. I love some of that stuff. I listen to a lot of stuff, but that's the stuff
Right.
that I enjoy to play, and makes me feel good. It's kind of therapeutic for me. So, you know,
Music is healing, absolutely no doubt, and that's what we do around here at the LWN Foundation is like healing through nature and connection to source, connection to community, and that's again what we're doing here is that I'm just blessed that you're with us, Dan, tonight, so that we can tell and educate people. We're going to talk about some things that you do that you can maybe give us some insider type tips, help those that might consider to buy a storage unit.
oh,
And so
sure.
I want to, before I get to that though, I just want to go back here. Okay, I have a wall poster here. As soon as I saw it, I had to have it. So
Right.
I've got this wall poster. Let's make sure you're in there. 2020 wall poster.
Yeah.
All right, so it is signed by Dan and Laura, and I've got one. And what I said is this: Dan has written down a couple numbers. He's written down, and so I want you to do this, folks. Okay, I want you to share this video out, because whatever number he's got between 1 and 20, we're going to show that in a little bit. That person, if you're the whatever number he's chosen sharer, then you're going to win a free calendar signed Dan and Laura. That's so
And
awesome.
we might even kick something else in there. You never know. I mean, I
Oh.
might, if you shared the place it's going, we could probably hook them up with something also.
That's wow, you're awesome. And so yes, we want you to share this video out. The other thing that you have the opportunity to do too is to get a free copy of my book, Transformational Change. That I wrote chapter 7 in here. I was asked to contribute to that. And if you're in the US, I'll send it to you. I'll sign it. And if you're outside of the US, then I'm going to just make arrangements through Amazon to get it to you, because it's pretty expensive to ship.
He's going to
to
fly
places.
it personally out to you wherever you're at in Europe. He's going to fly it out to you, and he's going to sign it, and you're going to pick up the dinner tab, and he's going to come back home.
There you go. That sounds wonderful. Make sure that you got somebody to pick me up at the airport too as well.
Right.
You got to have the ride too as well. So yeah, we love that. And so you're going to pick a number between 1 and 100, and if you pick that number, then you've won that book as well. It's very cool. This is all about learning how to do transformational change. It's got my story in there about, the fact of the matter is that many people know, if you don't know, I made poor choices and I ended up homeless and I lost virtually everything but my life. And I'm still here, and that's the beautiful part. And I chose to make a difference. I started with an intention. I'm going to get off the street. And from that, it's taken a lot of work, it's taken a lot of discipline, and it's taken visualization of my goals. And so that's why we do these affirmation Mondays. We're talking about positive affirmations, we're talking about empowerment, we're talking about health and wellness, we're talking about being grateful and how gratitude brings on that happiness and that joy. And the fact of the matter is, you can be homeless and have lost everything, and it can happen, and it happens to good people. But you know what? You can get your life back. And that's one of the things that we're going to do at the LWN Foundation, is to open a shelter that doesn't cost people, so they can get the resources they need and get that hand up and say, you know what? I do love you, and I do care about you, and I'm going to give you the opportunity to get your life back. And it's a wonderful thing. So I know that you volunteered. I'm sure that you have done some volunteering in the past, Dan. And tell us,
Me?
maybe. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, I volunteer to different people each year. I have the California Youth Adventures. We do stuff with them, and that's where underprivileged youth can go out and go on a fishing trip, or they can go hunting. And there's a lot of really great people that are involved in that. So I kind of help with that. I have a few things. My high school has some things that they do, once or twice a year. And so I go back there, just to, I feel like I'm going to the principal's office every time I go to my high school. But I've gotten to go there a couple of days, like on career day and stuff. And,
Yes.
And I've went, every once in a while, they have a elderly gets together for Thanksgiving or whatever, and Laura and we've went and served up and stuff. Just I do what I can when I can, and
yes. Well, volunteering, I know that when I volunteered in the past, that by volunteering, I wanted to give, I wanted to help people, but I ended up winning in the end, because it made me feel so good. Not only did I help somebody else, but I helped myself. And this last round with Chemo Buddies for Life, boy, I ended up becoming a chemo buddy, because I've lost 2 people right at the time when I'm trying to help my friends raise money for their foundation, and that connection, it's a buddies network, Chemo Buddies for Life. And so I did a big thing, but you know what? I grew from that and I learned.
Yeah.
Now, the other thing, don't want to get off topic here or change around, but I just did want everybody to know we're going to take a couple questions, and I think I'm going to take one of those right now. And I've got a viewer that has a question, so let's just go ahead and do this. Evan asks, "What's the craziest thing of extreme value you've seen someone find or come across for a steal?"
You know, there's been it seems like every year there's one or two or three things, Evan, that are really life-changing things. The most recent thing that has come across is a unit sells here in Southern California, and
Mhm.
it had $7.5 million cash in the unit. It was inside of a safe, and the weird twist with this is the folks that lost it probably went to the management or the owners, and they got the information on who bought it, and an attorney showed up at those people's place and
Mhm.
offered them $600,000 for this $7.5 million back, and then they agreed on accepting 1.2 million. And when this lady told me the story, I said, "You mean they handed back 6.3 million?" And she said, "Yeah." And I said, "Do you have pictures of this?" She goes, "I do." I said, "If I don't tell anybody who you are or anything, can I tell this story?" And she goes, "Yeah, no problem." Well,
That's so
I tell you
awesome.
what, after I did that, Laura and I, we put a little YouTube out, at Dan Laura Dotson. And
Mhm.
I had like 500,000 views on this video because it's
Wow.
basically like saying, what would you do? What would you do if you bought something for $500 and it turned out to have $7.5 million, and then all of a sudden somebody knocks on your door acting like they want some of it back? A lot of people said, forget it. I would go anywhere in the world and they would just never find me again. And I don't care who I leave behind. And other people would say, "Oh, I would give it all back." Like, I don't
Yeah,
know who would
yeah.
do that, but
Right,
I
right,
think I
right.
would probably fight pretty hard for it. And so anyway, I mean, that's one thing. We've had a lot of things over the years.
Mhm.
Several years ago there was $500,000 worth of pirate booty, pieces of eight, silver and gold in a
Oh,
in
wow,
a
yeah.
tub, and it took four people to move the tub from the unit to the truck. And there's just been some really interesting. Alberto
Yeah.
Vargas, we sold some stuff several years ago, $2 million worth of Alberto Vargas stuff for hundreds of dollars. So it can happen. There was recently
Mhm.
some kind of a government something that happened. Some of the local buyers here in Southern California are in a big lawsuit, and over something that they bought and got taken away from them or something. So
Wow.
there's a lot of stories. So, but
And you
probably
just
this 7.5 million is probably the weirdest one for now.
that's wild. That's a whole lot of money, and you just have to wonder, how does that happen, right? How does somebody default on a
You know,
storage locker? But
I think that I think there's I've heard a story that the owners were out of the country or whatever from somebody that said they knew, but I don't really
mhm.
think they knew. I think they were guessing. I would guess that it was probably like maybe a dispensary for marijuana, where they're
Mhm.
afraid to put that money into a federal
Oh, yeah.
bank, so
Uh-huh.
they keep it in cash. And
Right,
I
sure.
I think that's
Yeah.
probably. I don't know. I don't know anything about it. I
That's
just
something you probably wouldn't wanna know the answer to,
uh,
actually.
there's been everything in a unit, and
Yeah.
everything. 2 days ago, a buyer sends me a picture of a Chrome's Heart gold lighter that weighs 190 grams, says it's worth $8,000 in scrap, and it's a $47,000 lighter, and he
Oh.
found it in a junk box in a unit, and he didn't believe it. He just took it to some people, and
Mhm.
so it's real. So I don't know what a guy get. I don't know, first off, who would ever buy a $47,000 Chrome Heart lighter. But if you wanted one, you could spend that money there. If you wanted a $2,600 toilet plunger, you can get one with a little sapphire right on the top to plunge your toilet. And
Mhm.
so anyway, you just never know what you're going to find in a unit. And we sell them every day at AmericanAuctioneers.com. I just plugged myself.
Yeah,
Or
no,
we're
do that.
nationwide with StorageAuctions.net. So
So you're doing a couple things here. Now you've got American Auctioneers. Obviously, you're a huge reality TV star. Um, Auctioning off these. Oops, I looks like we might have lost your first. Okay, there he is. Beautiful. So And I want to know about that, actually. And by the way, viewers, I want you to, if you've got a question for Dan, oh, it looks like we've lost him for a moment, that's fine. He might need to back out and he's going to come back in. We already talked about that. It's interesting, too. I've got up in the corner here. I want you to ask a question. You got a question for Dan? Write it into the comments right now. And I want you to share this video out. We've got a couple giveaways here. We're going to get to that very shortly here, as a matter of fact. I got some great stuff. I've got this wall calendar right here. It's going to be signed by Dan and Laura. They might throw in some extra swag for you or something. That's really awesome. And then I've also got my book, The Journey of Riches, where I wrote chapter 7. I contributed to that. And that's a great book about 11 insights about how to strengthen your resolve to achieve the things that you want to achieve in your life. And so we're going to ask him some questions. I know that he'll be back in just a minute. Here he is coming. So let me just bring him back into the stream here.
Mother, I'm using my phone, and I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
My mother-in-law is calling in, and I just punched that button, like, go, leave me a message, and I'm sorry about that. And we're live, so.
Well, I'll tell you, when it comes to technical issues, I think I know them well, because I've had my last one just was a complete failure, but we're working on that because I love this, by the way, StreamYard. That's what we're streaming on here, by the way. And it really is cool because you can go to 5 places. And we tried to set it up to go through the .com, which then takes it to the YouTube. And bingo, man, it just wasn't working. So we've been working on that one too.
There's probably a way with this smartphone that you can make it to where calls won't come in, and I'm just not quite sure how to do that, especially while we're talking. So
I think that the smartphones, they're certainly smarter than I am. It's taking me a long time to even learn it, and this does way more than I can
So
imagine.
you were asking about our companies, Stephen?
I wanted you to talk about your company. You've got American Auctioneers, and then you've also got a portal too to like tap into auctions all over the country, maybe all over the world. I don't know.
No, all over the U.S.
Okay, all over the U.S. Tell us about it.
Thank you for asking. We have a company called American Auctioneers, .com, and I started this company in 1983. And Laura and we've been together since '86, and we do business liquidations and moving and storage sales and self storage. And we have 6 or 7 auctioneers that do most of the auctions that we have. I have a couple of guys, Ronnie and Jim, and they do the majority of our auctions, especially when we're filming and stuff. Now, we haven't been filming for 10 months, so we're hoping that the phone rings and we get a season 13. We're excited about season 13 of Storage Wars. We're hoping that the AETV network has the ultimate wisdom to bring us back for season 13. You don't get too many shows out there that you can film 260 or 70 shows, and and you don't get too many that get 300,000 or 300 million views a week in 200 countries and 31 languages. So Storage Wars is a huge deal all over the planet, and we're ready to make some more. And we're just hoping that AETV and Fremantle decide they're going to take the show and they want to continue making money with it. And if they don't, maybe there's another network out there that would love to have a modern day treasure hunt show, because I definitely know all the players and we're missing a lot of stuff that could be great filming every day. So
That's just excellent. And I remember that I want to ask the viewers right now, go out there, tweet it, and tell them we want Dan and Laura. We want to see Dan and Laura back on Storage Wars. Come on.
We just want to see Storage Wars. I mean, we'll make it work. But
exactly.
Anyway,
get back to you, American Auctioneers, and
so anyway, that's what we do with American Auctioneers. And then Laura and we started storageauctions.net. .net, we're the only one on the network. So storageauctions.net is an online self-storage auction platform that's nationwide. We have about 314,000 subscribers. So wherever you're at in the United States, if you're a player or you like to buy and sell, or one, just go on to storageauctions.net and subscribe. It's free. And whenever anybody lists an auction in your area, you'll get a free notification. Then if you see something you want to bid on it, then you will just register as a buyer with a credit card, and we win 10% on every winning bid. You get to pay the lady 10%, and then you get to go pay for the unit and pick it up from the from the storage facility. Is this sun a little bit bright? I can go like
Yeah, I
this,
can see that. That's kind of hitting you pretty heavy. That's all right.
right?
So yeah, you
Yeah,
got sun on you, but it's all good. I mean, this is not pre-recorded. This is live. It's the way it is. It is. It's
right,
beautiful, and so it is what it is. And I've gotten used to sometimes, tripping over my tripod or connected to the things happen. It's all right.
right.
But I am grateful that you are here. That's a big deal. Now, what I want to do here, though, I'm just going to go back to these comments. We see comments because I said if you've got a question here for Dan, we're going to share some of these questions. So let's just I'm just going to take a look here. I'm getting a message. Turn off your cell network. This is from my IT guy, by the way. And he's telling you, turn off your cell network, but keep your Wi-Fi on, and that'll stop the calls from coming in. But the live stream's
Okay.
going.
Okay, tell him thank you, and
Yeah.
I would jump in there and do that right now, but we'd probably get
Yeah, we
we'd
don't
get
want to do that.
disconnected right now. So I'll
Exactly.
know for next time.
All right. So this is what Denise wants to know. She wants to know, do you have some tips for choosing a good find at a storage auction?
Yeah, you bet. You need to look for quality. If you see an abandoned, unclaimed unit and it looks like there is quality and pride and ownership,
Mm-hmm.
and the boxes are stacked good and everything's put in there in a nice, neat order, and it looked like they bought everything nice and new, or they had a certain style that they were collecting, like antiques or vintage stuff. You can see if you can see half of the unit and it looks like it's worth 500, then you can guess that maybe the back half of that unit might be another 500. So maybe potentially you might have $1,000 worth of stuff. So you want to double or triple your money, and
Mm-hmm.
so $1,000 unit, maybe you could go to $300 for it,
Mm-hmm.
and you just have to know that you've got to clean it all out. And if you have something heavy, you got to take that too. And I think smart buyers diversify on how they buy. They don't only buy from storage units; they'll buy from estate sales. They look through Craigslist. I mean, they just want to turn that $1 into $3 and do it over and over and over again. And that's kind of the ticket. We don't always make money when we buy something, and if we have to lose a little bit, but we get our money back and get it back in circulation, that's kind of the ticket. So if it looks like trash, it's trash. If it looks
Mm-hmm.
like it's decent and you can get some money for it, do your research, figure out the most you would pay for it before you start bidding, and then when it gets to that mark, stop. And that's the best advice I could give anyone.
And that's Mannie. That's my guy. I tell you, I just love Mannie. He's my IT guy, but he's also our director of sales as well too. And
Right on. Hey, Manny.
yeah, he's a good guy. So he says, that we can't grow as individuals. We don't learn to make some mistakes sometimes. This happens. We can't always necessarily win money at this stuff. I haven't personally done it myself. I really wanted to do it. I do it vicariously through your show.
Thanks.
I mean, it's so much great fun. So we have another question here, and Rachel wants to know, what's been the best part of being an auctioneer?
Oh, being me.
Being
It's
you.
great. No, it's great. It's great being the auctioneer.
Yeah.
When I was 9, 10, 11 years old, I would go back to Arkansas and I would watch my grandfather, and he would do these farm auctions, and
Yeah.
we would go sell cattle, and I would herd the cattle around and put them in the pens before and after they were sold, and with these farm sales, I'd help set them up, and I would watch my grandfather, and he was a showman. So that's probably the best part, is just being in kind of control of everything, and being able to just be professional and try to burn the candle at both ends, and trying to be fair. And it's tough being fair to everybody, but when you're an auctioneer,
Right.
you got a fiduciary duty to the seller, but you got to treat all your buyers fair, and you got to be kind of a transparent guy. So the best part is just getting to do it, because it's just a lot of fun, and the time goes by fast, and the more fun you have, the faster it goes, and it's fun. It's profitable. That's a
Yes.
good part. Yeah.
There we go. There we go. All right. So I'm going to give it a couple more minutes here before we do these drawings, I think,
A
because we
lot
want.
of honest people, Pina, in and
Yeah.
kind in the world.
Yes.
There's a lot of honest people out there. I've got customers that, every once in a while you sell the wrong thing, and if you sell the wrong thing to the wrong person, then they take it, they do everything, they give you every excuse. But when you sell it to one of your customers, your buyers, that
Hmm.
they understand, if somebody made a mistake and I can retrieve that stuff back and keep everybody out of a lawsuit, they're all happy with that. And so there's a lot of honest people out there that, they return wallets when they find them, and they help people. And I'm a big believer that you don't look down at somebody unless you're trying to help them up. And
There
that's
you
kind
go.
of
And
that's
that
kind
is,
of what.
and that's what it's just, this show really is all about, is about helping people up, giving them the opportunity. You've been able to start sharing some really great stuff with us about, how you do lift people up. And that's what we want to do. I mean, I know that I'm built to serve. I believe that firmly, and that my one word is empowerment. And I'd like you to talk from a business now sense, and tell us, what do you think that the key ingredient of a good leader is?
I don't think you should ever ask anybody to do anything that you don't want to do yourself. I mean, if you can't do it yourself, then you shouldn't be
Mhm.
asking anybody else to do it. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
That's the main thing. I would think the other thing is to, you look at people and you figure out what their strengths are and what their weaknesses are, and you let people
Right.
kind of float up. I'm not a very good micromanager. I have a lot of people that are loyal to me, that help me make money, and they go out every day, and I love them. They're great people, and when they have a problem, they know they can approach me and say, hey, I know you told me I can make this much money, but it was really a pain in the ass, and
Right.
I lost something, and I need extra or whatever. You just try to kind of work with your people, and if you can, work on their strengths, and if they don't have strengths, help them build that up. That's really good. We went like paperless with our American Auctioneers several years ago. We still use paper, but it's
Mhm.
all on the phone, and it saves us a lot of downtime having to have somebody refigure everything, because it's all in the system. So
Mhm.
my auctioneers both threw a fit when my
Mhm.
both main auctioneers, they threw a fit, and he says, one of them said, I'm going to quit, Dan. I'm going to quit because I don't want to do this. And I say, you're not going to quit, Jim. You're
Mhm.
going to learn how to do this. And he's my age or whatever. He's not a young chicken, and he didn't want to have to learn. And this thing's kind of a pain in the butt, but he's the best at it now. You just have to, sometimes you have to be a good leader, you have to help them lift themselves up, and you have to convince them that they can do this, and that the function's viable and it's needed, and it's not going to help anybody if they run. They have to run right into it. And I face everything that way. If I'm afraid of something, then that's the first thing I'm going to go and do, is whatever I'm afraid of. I didn't say
Right.
if it's hard. If it's hard,
No,
I don't want to do it
I
unless
think
it's
that that's a
important.
good point too, because it is about taking some risks. 'Cause it is about, you might have fear about doing something, but facing those fears and stepping into an area where you can grow. And if you don't risk anything, obviously you're not going to get anything, right?
Right. But
Yeah.
you can't worry either. When
Right.
you risk something, you say, God, I could lose everything. Well, that's a pretty big risk when you're
It
putting it
is.
all on the line like that.
Right.
Normally, you shouldn't just take a risk where you have to just put it all on the line. You should just
Right.
put part of it on the line. And then if you don't succeed, you've got a couple of shots at it before you've given everything up. So, I don't like to shoot my last bullet, and I don't like to, give all my lives away in one shot. I like to make things last, and I like to
Exactly.
kind of calculate where I'm going, and I look at the benefits, and then I weigh out the risk. And
Yes.
if the risk and the benefits are about the same, sometimes you ask yourself, what the hell are you doing? Other times you say,
Right.
I don't care if the risk is the same as the benefit. I need it, and I have to do it right now. So normally decisions like that come at the expense of good service. When you're a good
Right.
leader and you have businesses, then you have to have good service. You've got to be able to,
Exactly.
if you tell one of your clients, hey, I'm going to do this, then you better do it. If
Mhm.
you
Mhm.
you say, I'm going to be there, or I'm going to make this happen, then you better just you better make it happen, even if it doesn't feel good, because, you
Hmm.
know, it's not all about making the money, but, you know, it's more about building relationships with people.
It
And
is.
whether those are your clients or your future clients or your investors or whoever, you got to build up a trust with them and a relationship with them. And then the money and stuff should flow if you're doing
Right.
things right.
It is about relationship building, exactly. It is about relationship and customer satisfaction. I know that, for our family business here in Sarasota, it's key to us to make sure that the customer is satisfied. Because if they're not, they're gonna tell somebody they'll be more prompted to tell somebody about a bad experience than the good experience.
That's how it
And,
works.
you know, and so, yeah, that in this town, that'll kill you. That word of
In
mouth.
just about in any town, that'll kill you. You
Yeah.
know, they say that if somebody's talking bad about you, they're going to go tell 250 people how bad you are, right? But if you
Yeah,
do something good, they're not going to talk about it a lot. You know, you
right,
have to do, in order to get that thing, you have to do good over and over and over again, and you have to do it
yeah,
for years. And you just have
exactly.
to. That's once you get to a point where you've really made good decisions and you've done it for a long time, then people trust what you say, and business and things are a lot easier. And
I'm gonna share a tip here because this is what we do with our business because we are so customer satisfaction oriented, and I really always have been in business, and I've been in business most of my life. But the thing is is that we give our customers, after we're all done with it, we give them an instruction sheet about, what's just taken place with what we're doing. We also at the bottom have some URLs for them to go to and to do a review. And we ask them to do a review and tell others about it because reviews are really what drive a lot of people these days to whether they make a decision to use somebody or not, because it is about that affirmation that they can be trusted, that they're
that's
doing a
smart.
good job. And so that's what we do. We give them information, we give them the URLs to go to Google, if it's a home advisor or an Angie's List or whatever, several different spots. Go out there, tell them your experience. And you know, I if they're not happy, then we can address that. We can certainly address that at that situation at that time. Now we're pretty blessed. I think we're doing pretty good. So we don't have the negative ones. We got the positive ones. And so that's a good thing.
They happen though, and what do you do? What do you suggest to people when they get a bad review?
Exactly. And what we've done is we immediately address that customer. We'll pick up the phone. We'll call them. We'll talk to them about that situation and we'll try and resolve it. When it's online, we're going to make a response to the particular claim.
Right
And
away. Yeah.
yeah, right away. We're going to make a response to that claim, and so that where their comment is about, oh, I wasn't happy for this or that reason, then we're going to come back and explain it from our standpoint, um, and try and make it right. That's the whole point. Even
Right.
because things can happen, and that's my computer. Dang it, Manny, you need to tell me how to turn that part of it off.
You look good from here, man.
I just heard this ding. Anyways, so yeah, you want to respond to them. You want to immediately and put your side of the story out there, and then just do whatever it takes. And sometimes it costs money,
Sure.
because you're going to have to do something, even though they might be wrong. What's the story? The customer's always right.
Right.
The customer's always right. So you try and make them happy. Now, I wanted to re-mention. Okay, now I haven't seen any numbers yet. No numbers for the book. I guess you don't want the book.
What do they have to do to get the book?
I tell you what, I've got this book right here. I wrote chapter 7 in it. You can see, and all you have to do is pick a number between 1 and 100. And Dan has already written down this number. We got two
I've
things
got it
we're
right here on this
away.
on the
Okay,
back side of this card.
there
I've
you go.
got two numbers. That's the
So
first number, and
we
that's the
get two
second number.
numbers. So one of those numbers between 1 and 100 is going to get this. The other one is whoever shares this out, and that number, if they're that sharer, that number, they're going to get this wall calendar that I've
So
got.
have at least
And
20
so
people. Has at least 20 people shared this?
I tell you what, are you with us, Manny? Tell me, send me a message. How many shares are we sitting at right now, Manny? We want to know. Inquiring minds do want to know.
Right.
And because Manny is running that back end here for us, and he is paying attention to what's happening, and so he hopefully will send me a message or something of that nature, and I'll know pretty quickly. And just in a moment now, then, you know, um, I don't know where we're at. Hopefully, we're at 20. I want to be at 20 shares.
That'd be great.
Please, I want to be at 20 shares is what I want to be. Um, Okay, so we have a few numbers for the book, I'm hearing. All right. So
Great.
that's good. And so he's in the background there. We will get that. I'm going to wrap up here pretty quickly. Of course, I know that, everybody's time is valuable, and I want everybody to know right now how much I appreciate you taking time to come and watch this. I know that it's going a little bit long, but hey, this is the greatest, at this point, uh, 40 minutes you can spend tonight, with Dan Dotson. I mean, come on.
Right.
I
Hey,
mean,
this has been fun, man. It's been great talking to you, and you have a very interesting story, Stephen.
thank you.
You've had a very challenging. Seems to me like you've had a very challenging time in life, and
Mhm.
you've overcame that, and you trying to help the next person is pretty nice, paying it forward the way you're doing, and so. I know that
Thank
you
you.
are you're the host with the most, but what is LWN Foundation? What do you hope to do with if somebody sends you some money? What will you do?
Yeah.
What do you do with the money? What do you
Well,
do
I'll
with the
tell
money now that you spend?
right now it's we're all volunteers, and I'm not trying to get money so that I can get a salary out of it at this point. I mean, someday when I'm fully involved in it, that would happen, but that right now it's not about that. I'm paying the bills, and so we do have expenses for the websites, and the hosting, and for the phone, and the mail, and we have expenses coming up for the advertising and stuff, and doing the press releases and things of this nature, and filing the proper forms and stuff like this. And we're in the process of filing for 501(c)(3) so that we can
Huh?
provide a receipt for you so that you can deduct it straight off of your taxes. Now, one of our a couple of things that we're doing is this: suicide awareness is really super important to us. Health and wellness, particularly mental health issues. We want to help people that are suffering, that have gotten beaten down in life for one reason or another, all the way to maybe homelessness. And we plan to have a center here. We're going to start in Sarasota, Florida, open up a resource place where people can go. They can get out of the cold. They can have a bed, have a pillow, have medical needs met, have psychological, mental needs met as well. Learn with the classes that we'll have. We'll have certified staff on board. And so all of these things will take money. And so I'd like to be able to be in a position to pay the people that are trying to do what they're doing. They're volunteering their times, and at some point, just go at this full time. And so it's going to take a lot of money to open this center. I promise you. But that's just going to be the beginning, and I'm not really worried about that. If you can find it in your heart to donate, certainly go to www. Uh, yeah, LWNfoundation.org, and there's a donate button, and you can do that. And we certainly would appreciate that, of course. Um, I'm just going to put that up here for you now. You can support because we're trying to help homeless people. We're trying to help people that for one reason or another need help or feel alone and want support. That's what we're going to do. We're going to give them support. We're going to give them a hand up, and we're going to give them the opportunity to get their life back. And
Great.
it's because I've been there. I made choices that took me to homelessness, but you know what? I've also made choices to bring myself back from those situations and enjoy everyday life. And it takes a routine. It takes a lot of work. But if you're willing to put in the work, and you're willing to even just start with the idea of I'd like to change things, then we're willing to try and help you. And it's just that simple. And anybody that I do daily videos Monday through Friday. Affirmation Mondays. We do a guided meditation. We do Empowerment Tuesdays. So that's empowerment tips. Wednesdays is about health and wellness. We're going to be having certified doctors coming on that. We've got also people like Adam Chelton coming, and we've had other people, Christopher Kaysen and Richard Fay, that deal with autism, and yet they don't fit a stereotype, and so they're there as a support. And then we gratitude, Thankful Thursday. Got to have gratitude because it really does start with gratitude. And so by having gratitude, that actually does the, chemical neurochemical thing in your brain, and it stimulates, your happy center and makes you feel good. And when you do something for somebody else, it makes you feel really good. And I personally didn't decide to do this so that I could make money. I did this so that I could pay it back and pay it forward without the expectation of getting something for it.
Fantastic.
That's
We're all put on this planet, Stephen, to do our part. And
yes.
sometimes you get drugged through the mud so you can help somebody in the mud, and my hat's off to you, man.
Thank
My
you.
hat's off to you, brother, for doing what you do. And I think it's
Appreciate you.
fantastic. And the mental
It's awesome.
the mental illness and the homelessness and the addiction to drugs and alcohol
Mhm.
and everything comes together. And if you do work where you can peel that and you can address these different issues, I think you could absolutely help some people get off the street and be,
Yeah.
good pillars in society, because that's what we all need to be doing. Maybe you pull somebody out of the mud and they pull somebody out of the mud.
And
That's
that's
what
how
it's
it works.
about,
Yeah.
right?
It works exponentially like that,
For
And
sure.
I say this, I say that, I consider myself, I am the light in the darkness. But we're all the light in the darkness. We all have these seeds of greatness. We just need to work on those. We just need to nurture those seeds and grow them into abundant plants. But that takes the work. You have to take care of that plant. You have to release that self-limiting thinking that I can't, and
You have
say,
to see it. You
yeah,
have to see
and
it.
visualize. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
And so that's the important factor about it. And so this has been a dream for me for a long time. It's coming together on a daily basis. I mean, the universe has provided the opportunity, and I just want to go here and now for you to be on this show. I mean, that's amazing to me. I'm in awe, and it's like, wow, I'm blessed.
My pleasure, man.
But I put out intentions a long time ago to surround myself with people like you, Dan. Okay, surround myself with people that are making a difference, that are successful in life, that are doing the right stuff. And when I did that, things started happening. It just started coming back around. Now I'm going to pop this little deal up. I pulled this off of your website, um, and it's a contest that you ran. And I actually, back in, this is June of 2016, you ran a contest, and you and share it out and comment and like the stuff, and you did a voicemail message for the winner for their phone.
Right.
You
I
remember that?
remember. I remember that. Yeah.
Okay, get ready for this. I
Okay.
won that contest, okay? I won that contest, and I
I
have that.
I never put those two things together until you just told me that right now. That's amazing. Well, did you use it? Did you use
Well,
the
this is what my problem was with that. I played it to a lot of people, I promise you, because it was
right?
beautiful. And I'd love to get it on my phone, but this was the problem. That format, I couldn't necessarily put it onto my phone, or I needed the technical help to take that file to put it on, because it's a voicemail. It's like, well, you have to
We
talk it
can
voicemail.
we can we can redo that. I don't care if it's from 2015 or whatever. We can redo that in a different format,
Yeah,
maybe
it
a
was a
wave
format
format or
thing,
something.
I guess, but then the thing, I got to thinking about it, it's like, well, I can't put it on
The
my phone. You
tub.
normally have to talk
I
into your,
remember I
yeah,
talked
you
about
did it
that.
about
You
the
do
total
tub and
coating.
tile work, right?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
remember you, Stephen, but I didn't tie those two things together till right now.
There you go.
Fantastic. Well, you're doing great, and
Yeah,
your business is
change
growing,
for
and
real.
you look great, and
Thank
you've got this show, and so now
you.
if you can get a few people to help you with the sponsorship and the
Yes,
telephone, and the
we need help.
expenses that you have, you could probably go a long way to help a lot of people if you could get a little help to
Yes,
get there. And so I'm just asking, if you're out there, just go to his LWNFoundation.org
yeah,
and give him a few bucks if you have it. If you don't have it now, maybe you'll have it later. But if you
exactly.
know somebody that could donate, it seems like a great cause. And
Thank you.
we're all we're all afflicted with people around us that and family members that have problems, and homelessness is a huge problem, especially in Florida where the weather's nice, and here in California where the weather's nice. And I think you're doing a better job in Florida than what they're doing here in California. I'm just saying. I went to Miami recently. Laura and we went on a
Right.
big cruise or whatever, and we went out of Miami, and I noticed that underneath the bridges was a huge, looked like a 3 or 4 acre a skateboard park, and there were hundreds of kids in there doing the right thing and playing. And I thought, man, if they had some places like this in California, in Southern California, maybe, you know, they would be doing less drugs, they would be doing less crime, they would not be getting in trouble, they wouldn't be fighting, they wouldn't be picking on themselves or anybody else. And so I think at least Miami's got it down for the kids. And
Yeah.
I just wish we could do more here. And you know, all throughout the United States, I think we're losing a lot of the core, you know, American life. And our kids, they need to know that they can have fun, and they need to know that they can hustle and save their money, and they need to know how to work, and they need to know how to write a check and
Yes.
cook a hamburger, and they
Exactly.
need to learn how to do stuff. And
They
so I
do.
think you know,
And
if we can do more of that, there'll be less of them on the street.
And that's exactly what we're gonna do. We're just gonna help people get their life back, and if they need, you know, life skills, that's what we're gonna provide, those life skills, that we're gonna provide, the ability to get a doctor and speak to a doctor, get some medications if you need to have medications, you know, and then, of course, resources from the standpoint of empowerment stuff, you know, and give you the tools that you need to be able to take that opportunity. And then jobs. I mean, I didn't even tell you that part, is that we're going to have jobs. We're going to have reporters at some point all over the world, and they're going to be reporting back about interesting people, interesting places, and we'll create feature articles, and so that can create some money too. And we're looking for people that want to be ambassadors for the LWN Foundation and affiliate themselves with us. And you know, we'll do everything we can to support uh, like-minded people and like-minded corporations, and
Fantastic.
work together, you know, because it is, as a team, I didn't really finish that. As a team, this light that we shine is going to get so bright, because as we come together, there is such a transformation going on. People like ourselves that care so much about other people, and we're just trying to do it, and together, boy, we can change the world. That's what we can do.
You just have to believe, man. Right? Got to have
Exactly.
enough. Got to have the faith, and you have to believe it, and things happen.
We
And
got some numbers too, finally. I see. We got some numbers. 52. We got a number now, finally.
wow,
And we got another number. So Shirley's got numbers. And so what else do we have here? Denise was telling, what was she telling? Stephen, that there was a local auction. Oh yeah, 10 units, you know, and they bought it for $300. They got some
Les Paul guitars,
Les
and
Paul guitars.
hey,
It's like,
man, you
wow,
know,
man.
get you a '50s Les Paul guitar. It could be worth a lot of money.
It sure
Even a
could.
new one is, you know,
Yes, I tell you, that's
fantastic.
a beautiful thing. So Pina has a modification to her question about what city did you have the most fun in, or what was your favorite city doing Storage Wars
Oh, that's a great question.
in? Yeah.
You know, Laura and I think we shot about 260 shows, and I think probably the most fun that I had, the most interesting, was probably when we went to Las Vegas and did the round table. I
Uh,
kind of thought that was fun. We do stuff in Vegas now, and there's just a lot of players out there, and we're treated like rock stars every time we go to Las Vegas. And you know, we got our picture in the palms, and you know, we
nice.
just, every time we go to Vegas, there's a worldwide crowd there. So
That there,
we're in so many countries. You would just be amazed at how many people say, "I'm from Peru. I'm from Brazil. I'm from." You know, I'm from wherever they're from.
yes.
They
And
most likely have Storage Wars. They all know about it, and
yes.
I speak actually in one language, but on Storage Wars I speak 31 languages, and I didn't know I was so smart, but
That's so
I am,
awesome.
obviously.
You are smart. Of course
Ah,
you
come
are.
on.
You've been very successful. Okay, so we got one more question here that we're going to do, and then Manny's coming back at you, and he's saying, who's the biggest influence in your life?
Probably my grandpa Sam, I would say.
Yeah, Grandpa. Yeah. Now, he's the one that taught you how to be an
Right.
auctioneer.
My mom was an auctioneer too, and when I'd bring kids home, I'd say, "Auctioneer for me, Mom," and she would, you know.
That's really awesome. Okay,
Yeah,
so we do it. We're almost coming up on an hour. I know that everybody's time is valuable, so I'm going to go
yeah,
ahead and start working on the big deal. All right. Thanks for bearing with us, everybody. By the way, I tell you, I've got this here. Now, this is not the one that you're going to get. We're going to get you a brand new one. This one was sent to me.
yeah. We're gonna send this
So
out
we're going to
on
get this
behalf
to
of
you all.
Stephen.
There we go.
And
And
we're gonna, Stephen. We're also gonna add a photograph of Laura, my photograph, that we'll sign that up, and we'll personalize that if they want it or not. Whatever
okay.
they want.
That's awesome. So we're going to work on that. And what he had done is he had picked a number. We were talking about shares. We wanted to share this out. Okay. Between 1 and 20. Let's go ahead and do it now. What is that number of the person that shared that many times, or that number where they are that person that shared it? Who are they? And
It's
what was the number?
it's number 13.
Number 13. Number
Number
13
13.
is going to be the lucky winner. Now we're going to
Right.
wait for hopefully Manny can get back to me right away on that and tell us who that is, because I'd love to announce it. And if I can't get that information right this minute, guess what? We'll make sure to be announce it, and we will bring you on. How about that? That whoever wins, we'll do a video with you.
And I still see Manny's question about the biggest
Oh yeah,
influence. Pay the Lady Laura has been a huge influence in my life too.
yeah.
We've been running down the road together for 24 or 25 years, and she's a very positive thinker. I mean, if I'm negative, she's usually not. She's always smiling, and she knows how to not smile, but she knows how to be a positive thinker. She knows how to speak it out in the universe. She knows how to make it happen that way. So it for sure can happen. You just got to make it. Lucky 13. You're right.
Lucky 13. So that's going to be, we're talking about shares. So whoever was the 13th, whoever was there, we'll figure that out. Manny knows how to do this in the back end. He's that knows that stuff. I don't know that stuff. Whoever was number 13 gets this. Wonderful personal autographed uh, wall calendar, plus some other a picture of Dan and Laura. So we'll
You
that,
you
we'll what?
you were just asking earlier about some of the nonprofits and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
I've done some stuff, a lot of stuff with the Boy Scouts. When I had my
Ah,
double brain
there you go.
aneurysm, I'm in the
Oh yeah.
hospital about 4 or 5 days, and this whole little park troop came in there and gave me a bunch of stuff and wished me stuff, and so I like the Boy Scouts of America, and I also like we have a Gold Star family that Claudio Patino, and he died in Iraq, and he was a sniper for the Marine Corps, and
Wow.
we get together every year with a lot of veteran stuff, and it was the one that was on Veterans Day on Storage Wars for Claudio.
That's so awesome. That our veterans are important. I just must say that right now. And so we also, hey, we're going to tell you, if there's something that you're passionate about out there, you should volunteer, because the reward to the person that you volunteer and try and help, as well as yourself. Everybody wins in a situation like that. And you don't always have to give money. It's not always about money. It's about your time, and it's about the connection, and just doing it without expectation of personal gain, just giving of yourself. And it is all about love. And that's really what we all are, is love. And so when we share that love, that's what I was talking about this morning. It's a wonderful thing to do. Now you have another number as well. When we talked about doing a number between 1 and 100, whoever gets the closest to this number is going to be the winner of my book here. And if you're in the States, I'll go ahead and I'll sign that, send that to you. Otherwise, if you're outside the country, we're going to go ahead and have Amazon send that to you. And then I'll send you. So we got a number. What's that number? Number 5. Now, I know that there was a bunch of comments there. And I see Pina. She had guessed number 4.
Right.
So she'd also guessed 13.
That
So
was a
that's
good
okay.
guess.
Well, yeah, 13. That's our number for the shares. And so Manny, I suppose I can get my phone on here, but
Whenever you get that information together,
hang on, I'll look right
you
now.
can send it
Okay,
to me, and we'll
I
see
got it
it.
right here. It looks like total shares across Facebook accounts is just 37.
That's great. 37 is great.
Thank you, everybody. We love you
Right.
for that. Okay,
That's great.
getting the update here. We have a few numbers for the book. Okay, 37 shares on. Thank you. And Pina is our lucky winner. For
Right
number,
on, Pina.
okay, so
Thanks.
he was number 13 to share that out. Congratulations, Pina. I love you. You're so awesome.
Right.
Hey, by the way, she's coming to us from Ontario, Canada, all the way from Canada.
Fantastic. We
Yeah.
we go up to Red Deer every year or two and help
Yeah.
out with EG auctions, with the classic car auctions and stuff. I bought myself. I was doing. They have us do like a meet and greet up there, and I was sitting around this orange Harley for a couple of days. And Laura says you should buy it. And I bought this Harley, and I had them deliver it down here to my door, and I've had it for a couple of years now. It's a big old orange beast. It's beautiful.
Okay,
I have a
so
couple of them.
I have so much going through my brain. What was that last number? And that's going to be for the book again.
It was number 5.
It's number 5. So, I'm looking through here. I'm seeing guesses. 30 was a guess by Rachel. What else am I seeing? Well, not seeing anything else, but I'm telling you, whoever was closest, they're winning the book. That's the bottom line.
Right
Okay.
on.
And we'll acknowledge you. And I just want to say thank you so very much now. Everybody, we are grateful that you took time to come and watch us this evening. We want you to be successful in your life. We want you to take some action. There's some tips. If you're just coming in, go back, watch the replay on this video. If you can find it in your hearts to help us try and achieve the things that we're trying to do at the LWN Foundation, we would very much appreciate that. We have some expenses, but the whole point is to keep those expenses down as low as I possibly can. That's why I'm not looking at taking any type of money out of this at this point. And it all goes to try and help other people. And all of the profits that we have for the LWN Foundation, after we're all done with our expenses, then we're going to be donating to worthy foundations. That's what we're going to do. Pass that money straight along, as well as open up a center here in Sarasota. And it's going to be the first one, hopefully, of many in the world. It's going to be really awesome. Okay, tell us one last thing here. Give us a last word of wisdom.
All right, 10, 10, what about 20, 20, what about 10, 20, what about 20, 20, going once, twice, gotta go, guess what? And I sold out your way to the LWN Foundation.org. Donate today or be square. Thanks for tuning in.
That's so awesome. Thank you very much. We appreciate you. Love it. Thank you, everybody. Have a blessed evening, and we appreciate you for coming. It's all about abundance. Put it in your head. Everything starts with a thought and then takes an action plan. Implement that action plan to achieve your dreams and goals, and I know that you can do it. Thank you. Thank you very much, Dan, and all the viewers.
Peace,
That's it.
everybody.
Now you're coming from California. You're signing off from California. I'm signing off from Sarasota, Florida. Take
I'm
care.
out of here right now. Thank you, everybody.
Bye-bye. Okay.